Tasmania, and on the other line we have David. I don't know where he is in Sydney or Melbourne as we speak. Good evening, David.
I'm in.
How are you?
I'm in the lovely acreages in the northeast of Melbourne at the moment. Just been pulling trees out of the ground and stuff to put in the bin, but they don't give you a big enough bin to cover the acreage that you here. It's just like there's too many trees.
How much land have you got there?
Oh, it's just an acre, but it's got
a lot of land.
Got trees, and there was a bushfire came up close to the land. I said to my wife, this place has had a bushfire, because I could see from the tree. She said, "Oh, don't worry about it." You know, she believed the agent and all that sort of shit. And apparently the lady almost died next door. 2 houses were burnt down next door. Anyway,
really?
Yeah. So, but she loved it.
Well, down here,
doesn't have to make any
down
sense.
Here in Tasmania. No, down here in Tasmania, there's the fires are still raging, and the smoke in the air as we speak. It's not like a thick fog, but you can smell it. And I'm at a place called Camdale, which is about 5 kilometres out of the centre of Burnie. It's part of Burnie. And there's a plague of ants everywhere, and bushflies. So it's a bit difficult everywhere at this time of year, isn't it?
Sounds awesome. I thought you were going to tell me the weather was shitting because it's been cold and miserable in Melbourne.
It was a hot day today, and a hot day in this place is about 27 degrees. That's what it was today.
Okay.
Didn't feel it, but that's what it was. It's usually normally during the summer it's about 22, 23. Now, before we get on to the questions, and we've got a lot of them here, we'll get through as many as we can. I've seen a lot of comments in the last week, 2 weeks, whatever, about when you were on Sky Television last. A lot of people don't have it. So what actually happened, without giving anyone too hard a time?
Oh, it's Rudy decided to bring in a bear, and you know, I've been, as you know, we'd been bearish for a while. Market had come down. You know, been bearish since on and off for since early January, looking for a rally into mid-January. And the market really didn't enjoy itself, and it came back down again, gave us a couple of opportunities to buy in. And Rudy basically thought a bear would be funny to bring in, and it was, because the actual reaction from the management was, "No, we can't have a bear in here." It was actually pretty funny. I said, "Rudy, why don't you get a novel picture with Switzer with a bear, because that'd be pretty funny." And he went, yeah, okay. So he photobombed Switzer with, he's got a picture, but he hasn't released it. But what was interesting was how just the reaction was from the management is, the directors, the producers and the directors aren't going to like this at all, and they just didn't want to have the bear in the place.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
They don't understand, do they? They don't understand, do they?
It's supposed to be formal. Our job, for better or for worse, is so that we can provide background for COSEC security ads and ads for Forex advice.
What have they brought a memo out saying this is not to happen again?
I don't think so. We don't get anything like that. But maybe, it was just really something like it was just it was just a bit of fun. Oh, Val, I haven't seen you for a while there. How are you doing?
Okay, well, let's move on from that. So that's the story with the bear.
Yep.
Well, Rudy seems to have a good sense of humour.
Yeah, he does actually. He's pretty funny. He was really adamant that the market was a bear, and I just looked at him and went, "No, I don't think so." There's all the more reason to buy when it next dipped. But anyway, okay, let's get on.
Let's start. First one is from Keith. I'd like your views on a buy, hold or sell on Bellamy. I'll do the others after you've done that. There are 3 in total. But first of all, there's Bellamy.
Okay, now start off with the bat. Right off on the bat, you've just talked about one that I did just this afternoon on Bellamy's. Now we've had some fantastic moves in Bellamy's. Obviously, it got slammed down and then it got bought up and then it got slammed down. Bellamy's has basically been in a pretty big washing machine for a few months, and it's in what I call a fourth wave. And so what it's doing is it's really just churning. And so one of our PHG members is a very active short-term trader, has been just simply churning those around like crazy, buying dips, selling rallies, using that knowledge. Now, what I've been targeting, if you'll, I'll pick up the posts, it's much easier for me to show you, is for around about that, here's the post from today. Okay, I've just got that here for you. So this is the post. This is from Eugene, PHG member. He nibbled yesterday. He's looking for a target to take profit. $14.10 is the next big target. Now, what it can do with movements like this is probably rally up to about $14.60 before it tries down again to about $12. So at the moment, if you're an investor, and this is that I didn't get the time frame for the question of the person asking the question from, I think it was Keith. You know,
he doesn't give a time frame.
Yeah, so
doesn't give a time
so it's
frame.
a little bit hard. Some of the PHG members are very short term. Some of them are very long term. If you're in for this for the long term, you need a stop loss below $8, and it is a hold. And you'll be looking somewhere in the order of, we're looking somewhere around about probably about $26, $27 on the top side there.
Okay. What does Bellamy do?
They're in milk, and it produces results tomorrow. There's a high expectation of how good that would be. A2 Milk's been in the same situation.
Okay. The second question, which, well, is A2M. Same thing, your views on a buy, hold or sell for A2M, Mary.
Okay. Now let's have a look at that, because there was a lot of fun and games on that one yesterday. So let's just see where that was at. Okay. What you're looking at here now is for the PHG members who are new. You can see down here my latest posts. If you want to know what my latest thoughts are, it's best to look straight down here. So here we've got, where's A2M? There we go. So A2M. So basically the question was, this is from a very active trader. Given the price action and movements of this stock today, and this was done yesterday at 15:38, which is 3:38 p.m. Do you think it found support at 188, or the odds that it's going lower? If not, then what are the price targets on the extensions? If you want to buy this, run a stop at $1.70. This is my answer. It's still in the sloppy fourth wave triangle and should go higher. Target, short-term target, $2.01, $2.12.
So what do you say, buy, hold or sell?
So at the moment, like I said there, is hold, because it should be going higher. And what I've done is I've told PHG members, it looks like maybe today we're getting close, to hold on to that. So up around about $2.02, stop loss below $1.70, $2.12 target.
And the final one is Blackmore. Buy, hold, or sell.
Big Blackmore. Okay, now I haven't looked at this for a while, so we sort of got uninterested on it after it broke down, and we're just looking for those bigger levels to buy in at. I was looking for about 144 on the downside. Once it broke 100 and it's actually 203. So what it's doing now is also doing that churning, but it's more damaging. It's actually much more damaged than the other markets. So at the moment, the best I would expect is $202. 196 is probably the next best. And at the moment, you'd be looking down to 144, $136 on the downside. That whole opinion gets changed if it breaks through $207.
So what's the story? Buy, hold, or sell?
Sell.
Okay. Randolph would like to know, in your advice on BLD.
Terry, is it me or are you just a little bit faint?
Oh, I'm pretty. Well, I don't know. It's a bit soft, is it?
Yeah, you sound a bit soft.
I'll talk up a bit louder.
Okay, is anybody else finding that, or is it just me? BLD, this is a buy looking for $6.96, targeting $7.33. Your stop loss needs to be below $4.90 if you are going long as a longer term basis. In terms of the current basing formation, it could pull back down to $5.40 or just a little bit below that. That's where you'd want to pick it up with a stop loss below $5.20 for Boral. That's in line with my view of the property index. You might have, the property index keeps on trying to be strong, and I think I mentioned it on the TV the other night. We could have some targets up to 1,500 or higher on this index.
Right. Okay. The next one I'm talking up a bit harder, might help you. S for Sam, H for Harry, V for Victory. SHV.
SHV, which is called Select Group.
Was that volume better, by the way?
No. No. Actually not.
We'll have to talk a bit louder then.
Could be me. Maybe I've turned you down a little bit. Okay, so let's find SHV. Now my computers have just sort of, here we go. Okay. Now this used to be a darling, and it's coming down in towards support at $4. Obviously, we need a little bit more churning before another go lower. So a little bit lower down, we could expect Select Group. Bit of churning here. One more push down, probably around about that $5 area that you'd expect. If it gets above $6.10, then I start to be a bit more interested in it. We can see some good buying coming in. The initial impulse would be, I think if you really wanted to buy this, you'd buy it down around that, where are we? You'd buy it around that $5 area with a stop loss below $4.70.
Next question comes from me. The market really shot up today. Did you see that coming?
Did I see that coming? Well, the only way I can tell you, let's just actually show you is, yes. What do we have here? The best way of showing you that is PHG trades, and we basically, what I do is, you're asking about the Australian markets. We increased our self-managed super exposure and bought the share price index futures I won't show you what we did today, but we had some PHG trades. Yeah, no, that's probably, we'll go back to, we banked some cash today, actually. We're selling into the rallies because we've already been long. Where are we? Let's go back to the 15th. Now this is called the PHG transcript that I'm looking at here, and the World Indices transcript. And you'll see here that we have a trading table here. And these are what I do here is I show shares that are in positions for actually selling out of. You can see the recording. We have the recording up here, and this was done on February 15th. So I don't touch this after it's done. But we can see here we've been long puts, and this was. Does anyone here trade options? Raise your hand if you trade options. Okay, a few hands going up. Now, what we did here was back when the market was up on the highs, which was on the E-mini, that was back over here. Actually, yes, it was over here. We bought some puts on these 3 days. I don't have the exact. We bought some puts up here, and so when the market tanked down into the 1850s, we started to buy back those. We gamma hedged. Used a technique called the gamma hedge. Firstly at 1878, which locked in a guaranteed profit, guaranteed minimum profit, and secondly 1/2 at 1856. So then we looked to sell our on rallies towards 1900 on these futures. So we kept our puts, and we took profit on these 1856 and 1878 towards 1900. We actually didn't. That wasn't. We didn't. We actually took profit today at a higher level than that. So we changed that. On the E-mini, you can see here we got long on the 11th of February, and we had a short-term trade at 1830, which was stopped out at 1820. Then after that, the market broke through 1840 and 1864, and we've gone long. We went long, looking for these targets: 1864, 1894, and 1940. So what we did was we've gone long a number of days ago, and we did that also with the SPY at 47.20. We banked 1/3 profit today in the SPY and 1/3 profit in the E-minis. And where's the levels here? So yes, in answer to the question, you can see from that table there. Actually, we started to take some profit on the SPY today, and we got in at 47.20. And basically that's about 200 points in the SPY. If you do the calculation of that, 200 points times 25, that's about $5,000 a contract who trades the SPY. You'd have to do your own calculations on your own CFD positions if you took that particular trade to work out how much you would have made. You can do the maths.
Okay, well, having said that, you saw it coming. Are you surprised it was as large as it was today?
No. These are the target areas that I was talking about for people on the E-mini up to about 1940. You can see, Terry, from those. You can actually see from those tables. I'm looking for this is the S&P. We're giving the S&P trades. These are the targets that I give straight away as soon as we start to put a trade on. I generally give a target 1901, 1943, 1963, and that's in the S&P, and 47.89. I thought we'd do 49.50. I just didn't write it down there. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's say some people watching this now would like to avail themselves of these types of trades. How do they join you, and what is the cost of it?
Okay. Well, they can join by using this particular link. I'll give that out now, and it's a free event. It's free for people who are here for 7 days, so you can get a full taste of everything that I do. I'll put that out now. I have to learn how to do this. Here we go, there's the chat button. Paste. And this is for the Australian shares section. And so you can see that it's a free trial. You will need your credit card, so that would be credit card will not be charged after 7 days. If you wish to be a member, you just leave it go, and if you don't wish to be a member, you cancel before then. You'll get to see everything that I do. It's actually, I find it really difficult to explain what I do because I do a fair bit, and and also
okay,
where's the other ones?
I can't see this link you're talking about.
It's just come up now, Terry.
Okay.
The other one is that's for the and it's also, where are we? No, this other one, which is normally PHG Silver membership is $3,997. This is full membership. And what you can do, Andrew's saying the sound is terrible. Is that for me, Andrew, or is that for Terry?
That would be me, I think.
Okay.
Because your sound is great here.
Okay, now this is not a free trial. This is the full silver membership. I just gave you the ASX membership. However, it is $1,000 discount before the 20th of February. So you need to have executed that. Okay.
Could we just take a second to try and restore my sound so it's better for people?
Okay, Brian's saying there's no sound. There's a whole bunch of mixtures. Everybody check your own sound. Now there is a link. If you look in the box, in the chat box, you'll see that there is a link. Can everyone see the link? Anyway, send me an email for those links. I'll send that across. Can anyone see the link?
That'll be the easiest way.
David's saying yes, there is. Just have a look inside the chat box. There should be a little thing that comes up. Yes, they can see the links. David, I'm clear to you. Links are there. Okay, so let's move on. It's not.
There's nothing you can do to help my sound a bit?
No, Terry, just speak up a bit. You've got a booming voice at the best of times.
I'll make it louder. Okay, so the next thing is the XJO and the XFJ both had strong moves up today. Do you think the XJO will go to 5,300, and in what time frame?
Okay, now in terms of the XJO, we had a couple of questions today on that one. So let's go on to, this is the XJO short-term long, and it might have been, here we go, short-term long. Could I get short-term targets for the XJO? Thanks. And this is from a PHG member who's very active. And actually, I'm really pleased by the way this member has been going since he joined. And I got a really nice email from him today. And thank you for that, Ashley, about how well he's been going, and thank him for the help. So, as mentioned in today's stage, it's just hit the target. Should it close above 49.84, expect 50.92 to 51.25. Now, my first target at the top end of the range for the XJO was a possibility of 5,300. Now, the way that it's come up today, you know, it might go 51.25, but it's probably got a bit of problems with its legs. Today, there was a little bit of concern I had, which was, here's the disclaimer and warning, which you all should be reading now. And I think I left that up there for you. This is under Ideal Financial Group's corporate authorised representative 299753 of Aruda Proprietary Limited, AFSL 338674. This is general advice and does not constitute financial product advice, and trading is risky and investing is risky. And I was thinking about clubbing it with a stick today in the world indices. We did take profit. We did take profit on the S&P for a bit, and the Australian SPY for a bit on our trade. And I was wondering today whether the bear is still in the chair, as you saw from the emails when I talked today. And I've got to say, we probably still are in bear land unless it really clicks above 5,200. So at the moment, I like being long, don't get me wrong, but I haven't seen any evidence that we've killed the bear. At the moment, I would focus on this area here, 5,100, 5,125 is the most likely place. We have some strategies that we need to watch. When we see up there, we might do some shorting. At the moment, we are staying partly long. We have 2/3 of our position that we started off with down here. Down here, we actually added 1% on this day to our self-managed super funds. I don't know how many people here have a self-managed super fund, because this may or may not be relevant to you as a self-managed super fund holder. And where are we going here? Sorry, there's a few things up our sleeves. Okay, so here we have on our PHG trades tables, just for those people who are managing their super, we have increased our super down. Where did we do it? When did we do it last? Okay, this may appear a little bit wonky. These are the trades that we've had on. We increased our self-managed super funds back on the, where was it? What's this date here? Back on the 11th or so, we increased it by 1%. We also increased it by a further 1% previously. So we're running 34% on balance, 44% on middle of the road, 54% on aggressive. So we're not stepping out onto the plate really aggressively, but what we are doing is just edging up in terms of our self-managed super funds. So some of the members may not realize that's our allocations to equities, and currently we've gone up to 54%, and there's a little bit more that we didn't reduce today. We did take profit on our trades, really. So, okay.
So, the answer to it: do you think the XJO will go to 5,300? In what time frame?
The answer is, at the moment, I wouldn't be banking on 5,300 at all.
You're looking at 5,125.
Correct. I need to see how it reacts around there, one step at a time.
Okay. Understand. Peter said, with Telstra reporting today and going ex-dividend on the 1st of March, I'd like your thoughts on Telstra on the medium term and short term.
Well, Telstra is in an unenviable position. Dividend payers have not been good. Volume is not good on this rally. I think it'll end up down around about $4.50 at some stage. So the dividend, they seem to get punished by paying dividends these days. That seems to be a negative, but I think you'll see $4.50, $4.30 at some stage. Now, what's happening with Telstra is there's a few tip-offs as to if it closes sub $5.30, then that's the first thing to look for destruction on the downside.
What time frame do you think?
2 or 3 months, I would say $4.30.
Really? Okay. Francois, I am long since the recent low in the ASX 200. How long can the current rally last and to what level? Well, I think we've covered that
Cover
before,
that.
haven't we? You said about 51.25 or thereabouts.
Yep.
What time frame?
We've really just talked about that, haven't we?
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long can it really we talk about that in the forecasting. I'll be doing that on Monday night. I haven't every 2 weeks I do my calculations to when the market should top. If you want to get a hold of that, have a look at the forecast webinar that I did a couple of weeks back on Monday before last, and you'll see it there. That'll be easier.
Okay, the next question is from Robert. MYX, that's Main Farmer.
Yep.
I took some profits near the end of January.
Oh, by the way,
for
the people who take the silver membership, you can actually see that. That's just, I find it funny. People can get something that you'd normally spend $197 for free, and they don't take that offer up. It's just a bit silly to me, but that's just me. I figure if you're going to get the forecast, you may as well do the 7-day trial. Anyway.
So if they do the 7-day trial, they'll get the forecast on Monday.
Correct.
Okay. That'll be worth it on its own.
Yep. Okay.
So MYX Main Farmer.
Yep. Okay. So
I took some profits near the end of January. Yeah.
Okay.
Looking to get back in.
Now, Maine has not been rallying very well, so I wouldn't be getting back in until maybe it hits this base around $1.05 area.
So the answer is stay away for now.
Yep.
Okay. Next question, again from Robert, REA. He said, I took some profits near the end of January, now looking to go back in. Is now a good time for REA?
Okay, let's have a look at that. Now, I've kind of liked the property market as an index, but I'm not liking REA as much as I would like to see. So what does that mean?
Stay away.
Pretty well. At the moment, the best thing I can say is REA, run a stop loss just below $50 if you're going long, hope for $54. Probably your best bet is around about the $53 area.
But in general, it's something you wouldn't be doing.
Not at this point, no. Well, actually, I really am agnostic. If you want to be long that's fine with a stop at $50. It's just likely to fail, that's all.
Okay, well, he's only thinking of getting back in.
Where people get into trouble is by getting into a trade and holding it when their stop loss has gone off. And they don't get out, and then they hold on and they hold on, and they feel sick and they feel sick, and then it gets too low for them to sell out. And then by that time, they've lost 70, 80, 90, 100%. That's not the way to do it. If you are going to trade and invest properly, put a stop loss on and see where it goes. If you believe, you've got to learn to back yourself. But that chart at the moment, I wouldn't be that fussed. You'd only be looking for a short-term trade to $53 or $54. You got to know your expectations and expectancies.
No, it's all okay because Robert was in it. He's out of it. He's only thinking of going back in, and you're saying don't. So that's
Yep.
we're cool on that. Jennifer, oil stocks have been battered. Is it time to buy yet? I'm looking at the New York Stock Exchange, USD. Is it a time to buy?
Okay, now that was a stock called US Oil, which is US Oil, USO.
Sorry, yeah.
And what we're
Correct.
seeing in USO is we've been buying crude oil and USO. We bought USO down over here as it broke up. Now, it didn't go on with the job very well, in my opinion, and it did have a washout. At the moment, there's not. At the moment, you've probably got to spend a bit more time going sideways with this and churning around, and then having one more push to the downside. What I would say is if it's really getting above $10, then you've got a chance towards $12 and $14. If you bought it, your stop would need to be below $8.
Okay. So the question is it time to buy yet? And your answer is no.
No, not yet.
Okay.
If you are buying, position your stop loss at $8.31 stop close only.
Right. Okay. Now, Sharon, CSL short term.
Okay, CSL short term.
Hope I'm not coming across I'm yelling, but I'm trying to make it louder.
No, you're not for me, Terry.
That's good.
CSL short term. Now this has been worrying me, CSL. It's taken some heavy hits, and I think really you're looking down towards about $95. It's a bit like Blackmores and all that sort of stuff. It's broken trend. It's retested the highs. It's come perfectly up to that area. In fact, I was telling people they should be shorting it up to $107. And it's now trying to break down. So anything below $100, expect $95.35 or $91.87, and just leave it alone if you don't have to be in there. It's okay.
Okay. CBA short term.
Now CBA has been rocking and rolling. I reckon maybe about $75, maybe $76.21 before it gets hit on the head. It's obviously rallying in the wrong way, so it's going to get hit again.
So, short term, would you be in that or stay away?
Stay away. Or at least if you're going to be in there having a dig, you have a stop loss at 72.37.
Right. Now, QBE short term.
QBE, I was answered that yesterday. Where is the QBE one? If you do want to search for something, you just type in Control F and you should find it here. Okay, these are all the ones I covered today. Where are we?
Been a busy boy today.
Usually pretty busy. They cover about 50 stocks in a day, actually. Mondays
Really?
and Wednesdays, yes. So here we go. It might be around here. Actually, milk, gold. No one cares too much about gold today. Continue reading. This is QBE. Currently experiencing a retest of the breakdown point. It looks like it previously broke down from 10.40.24. May refill the gap up. This is yesterday at around about 3 o'clock. It may refill the gap to 1024 to 1024. If you want to go long, buy a break above 1050 just to be sure. You can have your stop loss at $9.84. So really what I was saying there is don't get too excited unless it breaks up. And let's see what it did today. So here, oh, look at that. It's filled the gap up to high of $10.30 today. And if it can get a little bit higher, you'll be good. Your stop loss would be below $9.91.
So is it something you look at or stay away again?
Again, stay away. It's hitting overhead resistance. Why do you want to just buy something that's falling on your head?
All right, yeah, good one. Now, Adonis asks PMV, Peter Mary Victory, PMV, and a trader's time frame.
Premier Investments, solid you lose stuff. Now, Premier, not bad on the monthlies. We can see up to probably up to about $14 and down to $10.70 if it cracks 12 bucks.
He's been a very successful man over the years, hasn't he?
He has. Yep, he certainly does, Ollie. Okay.
Have you ever met him?
No.
No, not right. Okay, MQG.
MQG, now that got into my long-term buy zone, which was between $59 and $61. It's broken up. I said if it broke through $64, then we would buy it, looking for $70. It seems to be doing that. Now, up at $70, $69, that area, you want to fire bullets into it.
Now, there are people that listening and don't know understand what you mean by firing bullets.
Shoot the fucker.
Well, right? Get rid of it. Okay, righto. Bang.
If you've been buying it, you shoot it.
Rightio. Now, Daniel O, RFF. Would be interested to hear your analysis on RFF.
Yeah, if you bought Macquarie down at $59 or $60, you're better off selling it out at $70 because this financials have not been having a good time. Rural funds. Now, rural funds, nice little movement. I guess it's related with food and China. It's coming back almost the same way as everything else is. It's dipped a little bit too deep. You probably expect it down to about $1.15. Stop loss would be below. The stop loss would need to be below $1.05 really to get involved with that. And let's see if we've got anything else. It pretty well hit target up at that level. We've seen a retrace, which is nice. If you want to have a dig, you would have buy down towards $1.28 with a target at $1.37. It's sort of, it should be churning, eventually going higher. If it wants to dip, you're looking down to that $1.13, $1.10 area. But at the moment, it seems as if it's put its foot in the ground and it's got the right reasons for looking. You get more aggressive buyer on a break above $1.40, but you could look to buy dips on this.
Now, next question, without notice from me, is on Monday night you've got a for the Australian XJO market, the ASX shares, you've got a forecast on, correct?
Yep.
Many people have not attended one of those. Could you tell us what they're likely to see if they join it?
Well, they see my outlook and how, I guess the best things to describe as the people that join these. These are directors of investment banks who join these webinars because they want to know what views there are. Sometimes I talk about their companies, and Maybe they don't like it when I tell them their company's going down. Maybe they like it when it's going up. But they do seem to hang around and watch what I do for ages. Stockbrokers tend to come to this so they can give advice to their own customers. Now, what I do is I look forward and I look for price targets and times, look for how stocks are moving, how indexes are moving, what the best places to put money into. You might have noticed that I was in the equities allocations. I actually gave property and I gave resources as an area of interest. I was interested in BHP and Rio and putting money into resources a couple of weeks ago. And so those were the things that we were starting to put when we increased. We had specific areas to look for. So I look at those big picture things, nothing to do with short-term trading. We look for the big picture stuff on those forecasts. So, we've got people who are managing their own superannuation and they just want to know whether they should be exposed to shares or not exposed to shares. Should they be in cash or should they be in shares and being aggressive? And that's the things we do in those forecast webinars.
Okay. So if they want to join that, they can join as a silver member and you'll fix them up. Now, Adrian would like your opinion on Woodside Petroleum.
Actually, just thinking about it, I better put a limit of 5 people on that trial because there'd be too many people going on the. There's already 2 taken, so I'll just put a limit of 5 people on that.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's just giving away the farm. Okay, so things I think of at the wrong time. $30.66 is the breakback point. Now, obviously, Woodside Petroleum, we bought that yesterday. We put that as a PHG trade, and it's good. It's good if it on a break above $30.66. We saw all the panic and all of the nastiness going on in that world. How it fell, profit fell 99%. The front pages of the papers, actually not of the papers, but of the internet rags, they said Woodside Petroleum fell 99%. It didn't say profit. It looked like the share was gone. So that's pretty funny.
Okay. It's not very right to do things like that. NCM.
NCM. Just on a break of 30.66, we're looking towards $36.86. Now, Newcrest has been, shall we say, disappointing. I did a gold webinar on that for people the other week. Could be looking towards $21 on this, but it's also been disappointing in the way that it's lacked the breakout. So at the moment, if it closes below $15, I don't like it. We'd be looking down to $12.16. That's your stop loss. And if it's going to continue to hold above $15 and not close below it, we could be looking towards about $16.60 on the top side on that one.
Okay, and last one from Adrian, SBM.
Oh, SBM, hasn't that been a wonderful trading vehicle? Jen from the PHG, I've been calling it up towards $2.02, and she's been buying dips, and it's just been magic trading. It's been wonderful. We got a target at $1.94. It was beautiful. So I told her we should be buying some down around this $1.30 to $1.35, $1.40 area, and it's come out of the box there, looking for $1.94 on the top side. At the moment, it's still got some juice, so not really too upset about that. It's got one more pop, and then it may stop.
So what would you do with that one now?
Trade the fuck out of it, just like Jen has.
Okay, right. Okay. The next one, what's your view of on SEK? Seek.
On Seek, just one moment. We covered Seek a couple of times. Just 1 second. Now let's go back and recollect my thoughts on this. Where are we? Here we go. So Seek was one of the ones here. I answered that today. There we go. Seek here, it says it's starting to appeal. Volume is good. It's kind of in close your eyes and buy mode. That's a particular term that we have. And stop at $13 medium term and targets $13.60 medium term, long term, and short term, which means targets are really come into confluence. And the best thing I would say to you is, yeah, see, it already hit that today. See, that was, I did that at, when did I do that at? That was 11:40 this morning, and you can see it by the end of the day, it traded to 13.60. So it's banged into the overhead resistance and a few other things. It still looks okay. The way I would manage it is if you did go long today, based on what I said, just run a stop at 13.17. Hope that it busts 13.64, targeting 13.94 and 14.37.
Okay. Now, Martin would like to know, should I be buying banks or giving them a wide berth?
Well, we bought a bank for a PHG trade. Has anyone heard of Westpac? Now, we bought a bank on a break above $29. It's now reached target, so we'll probably be banking some cash tomorrow, but raising your stop up to $29.43 just to lock that in would be the go. Chris is asking, can you have that link again? I'll just give you that one again. It's coming through now. I don't know if that works. Okay, so yeah, Westpac, we had a PHG trade buy on that, so we're long on that, looking to take some profit. Next one. So if it clears through $30, which has been really through the bogey hole, the bogey man, we'd be looking up to maybe $32.30. So we've talked about CBA. We'll look at NAB. ANZ, I was saying to people to buy back into your ANZs if you've gotten out in the $30 and the $20, high 20s, to get back in for ANZ. See, NAB itself, it's okay, but it's no cigar on this one. It's okay, no cigar. NAB, if you're buying NAB, have a stop at 25.56. It's showing some signs of bottoming, but it's still not the best. The next one is down to $21.54 on ANZ. I was saying for those people who got out, there's no, it's getting close to target now. There's no real sign that it's all that good, but if you're long ANZ, just have a stop at 22.93.
With the Westpac, that lady who left recently, Kelly, wasn't it? Did she do a good job?
I have no idea.
Okay, well,
usually what I can tell you is that management really has bugger all to do with what happens. Like Marius Kloppers jumped on board on the lows in 2003 when I bought the shares because it was a big cycle. He jumped out when was it, 2011, 2012. He sold did a hospital pass to this Andrew Mackenzie guy. The market just fell down. So there are times where you don't have to be anyone special like Alan Joyce. He's a legend now, but he was reviled before. Qantas is going through serious issues now. If you look at the flight loads, they're very, very thin on planes. They're cancelling planes again. But he had a thing where if oil prices hadn't have gone down, he would have lost his head. So, when you talk about how good management is, some of them are good, some of them are bad, but generally it's the cycle and the time of the things that are in that make us judges. We judge in history.
Right. There is a famous quote. It said, "It was the north wind that made the Vikings."
Exactly. Imagine if it was a south wind,
okay,
in the bloody North Pole all the time.
Right. Okay, now Andrew would like to know about ADJ. That's long, short-term, medium-term. ADJ.
Okay, let's do the full process on ADJ. Now, I think Andrew asked for something else on ADJ. Let's just see if we can get anything with that. Add slot. Well, what would you do with this? It hasn't done anything for years. So what would you do with it? You'd expect it not to do anything for years also. I'd like it above 12 cents and I'd sell it below 7 cents is basically the only thing I can tell you about that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we've got one last question and that'll do us in for the night. What's your current thoughts on BHP?
Current thoughts on BHP is we've been keen buyers of it, looking for a rally towards $18 or thereabouts. Maybe $21 if we can get it. Now, what that means is What that means is 1853 is our preferred target area. At the moment, volume's quite good. We've been looking to buy resources for the past 1 month or so, and that's been working out. In fact, I forecast in one of the forecasts that BHP should bottom. In fact, every forecast I've done since the 2nd of December, I did it in 2nd December. I did it for the Newcastle ATAA. I did it for all of the other forecasts. Looking to buy on the 18th of after the 18th of January. It happened to bottom on the 21st, and so it's been good for a reasonable rally. Up at that $18.53, you really have to think about getting out of it, looking down towards $9.
Really? So it will likely to be a good short soon, will it?
Yeah, we're going to have some fun there.
Okay. Well, David, that's brought our time to an end. I'd like to thank you very much and thank all the attendees who have attended. We actually have close to record tonight. So I hope it's been good for them. I'm sorry that my sound was a bit weak. But, we can't have everything in this world, can we?
Yeah, no, you can't have you quiet for too long, Terry.
No, exactly right. Okay, well, we'll see you all. What's the next time we'll be together?
Same time, actually on the third, it's always the third Thursday in the month. So that would be,
right, then we'll see you all.
About the 15th or something like that, I think it is.
Okay, well, good night, David. We'll see you all on the third Thursday of March.
Great. Thank you. Have a good one.
Good night.
Cheers. Bye.